All right, well, I'm one of those teachers who starts right as the bell is ringing, and so I do recognize that there are probably still people hoofing it over here, but it's just a compulsion. I can't stand the idea of wasting the time of those who've shown up on time, and so I will also aim to end with sympathy for the fact that this is the last session of the day. I am greatly honored by your presence, because if I were you, I wouldn't be here. I'm here because I'm me, which is not particularly profound. It's just funny, because right now everything is funny. I was thinking that it was very convenient of them to realize that we're all in training for marathons, right? That's why they positioned this session here. So I've gone back and forth about 5 times today, and I figure I've racked up some serious miles. I actually am training for a 5K. Just a quick disclaimer. If you consider yourself a naturally organized person, if alphabetized spice cabinets make you happy, you are in the wrong place, and you should leave now. Okay? Now, if by any chance you are here to see what somebody who considers herself the queen of chaos actually is going to try to say about organization, you may not speak at any point in time during this presentation. If you begin to weep, you must do so quietly. And if you begin to pray in any language to any deity, you need to leave. My poor mother, who is one of the most organized human beings on the planet, and she is by birth, she's just naturally that kind of personality, would be so horrified, not only by my topic today, but by some of the photos I'm going to show you to prove to you that I am in fact qualified to talk about rather than being perfectly organized. Okay? Other disclaimer is that one of the things I'm hoping to do today is model some thinking for you. So at any point in time, if you see me getting too wrapped up in the system and you don't understand the thinking behind the system is almost irrelevant, because it's what works for me. I'm probably 99.9% sure that what I do won't necessarily work for you, but if you tweak it, if you understand the thinking that went into it, and you make it work for you, that's the whole point. So feel free to stop me if you see me going off the deep end into the super duper naturally organized side of the pool by accident, because I don't mean to go there. All right, we are pretty much on time here, so I will start by introducing myself. My name is Cheri Gregory, and I have been in the field of education since I was 5. I went to my first piano lesson, came home, grabbed the neighbor girl across the street, sat her down at the piano, and I made her play my songs and gave her lessons. Months and months I taught her piano lessons. It's in the blood. I am the child of teachers. My parents are teachers. I am the grandchild of teachers, and I think I'm a great-grandchild of at least 2 teachers. I taught junior high for 15 years, and I'm currently teaching English 2 and AP English Lit and Comp at Monterey Bay Academy, which you can guess is in the Monterey Bay area. So I am the most excited about this session, and also have the most fear and trepidation, because I'm going to show you some things that make me look really bad. And as long as you all just smile, nod, and laugh, it'll all be fine. Like I said, this is not the place to be if you want the how to be perfectly organized because it feels so good. The reason I have learned to organize is because losing something that I spent hours on that worked brilliantly and that it was supposed to be right there when I needed it, but it's not there, is one of the more painful experiences as a teacher. And I don't mind putting time in. I'm a fairly hard worker, but not a second time. I want to do it once and then tweak, play with it, make it better the next time. But having to start over from scratch or buy something a second time because I lost the first one, none of that is any fun. All right, so I think I can use this one together. I asked some of my Facebook friends, when they are not well organized, what are some of the reasons? So go ahead and turn on your iClicker, and let's see how many of you empathize with these, okay? If you empathize with it, that's not going to work. Let me turn this one on and hide that. If you empathize with it, do an A. If you don't empathize with it, do a B, okay? So A is agree, B is disagree, okay? A place for everything and everything in its place starts with a place for everything. If there isn't enough space, you'll never be organized until you part with some things. Does this sound like you? That's an A. Doesn't sound like you so much. That's a B. Go ahead and click in on that. Alright, I will stop it. Let's see where we were. Let's see what we came up with on that. Let's display it. Alright, so that sounds like a bunch of you. Alright, some of us are on the not so much side. Alright, take the next one, start you out. ADHD, no organizational skills, can cope with chaos, which is related to ADHD. Trying to get organized is overwhelming. That sounds like you, that's an A. If it doesn't sound so much like you, it's a B. And if you want an eye clicker but don't have one, there's still some in some of the front rows. You're welcome to come
There's
get
two
one.
up here if you want.
It's really fun. Alright, let's see what you said on this one.
Take one.
Alright, so we had again a majority. In certain areas of teaching, I think AED at least is a necessity. ADHD is maybe optional, but more fun. Not that I would know from personal experience on that one. Alright, this one's a much more serious one. Life hits, grief, desertion, close family member needing care or hospitalization. Alright, just weigh in. Yeah, that sounds like you. That's an A. B, not so much like you. As to being a reason for having struggles with organization. Okay, so that's split 50-50, that there's some circumstances, and some of us don't necessarily feel like circumstances play a part. The next one, kids! I'm assuming by this he means the children in his own life. Okay, but it could also be the students. Yeah, family friend there. A is, yeah, that sounds familiar. B, not so much for me. And we'll do this the fun way. We'll watch the graph grow as you guys take in. Okay, so this one, not so much. Not so much of an issue. All right. Next one. No time to get it done. Big time quandary. A, that sounds like you. B, not so much like you. Okay, so I see if I was selling time, if I could put time in a bottle and sell it. Wait, there's a song like that. All right, unfortunately I can't, so that means I'm not going to make that million or billion. How about this one? Too many ideas. I don't know which one will work best, so I intend to try every single one until I've mastered it, and then I don't. A means that sounds like you. B, not so much on that one. All right, and we're almost 50-50 on that, with the majority leaning towards that being yet another reason for struggling with organization. This comes from a very ADHD friend of mine who sent me at least one of his sons in my classroom. Time, not enough to get organized. Distractions, start organized, we get distracted. Interest, it's boring to organize. Creativity, too many ways to organize. This is alphabetical, numerical, chronological, subject, size, shape, color. Memory, forgot to organize. If any of that sounds vaguely like you, A.
Can you hit A more than once?
Just for the detail, whatever is the last thing you record is what the other clicker will record. Okay, so it sounds to me like this is a huge one for this group. Another good friend of mine. It's more fun to start a new project than finish one. So visual that if I organize too well, things cease to exist. If something is filed in a filing cabinet, I might as well have tossed it into the garbage can because it's now beyond my recall. Oh, you guys are my people. When I first got to the school I got to, I am not exaggerating, and I am a storyteller. I'm part Armenian, so I do exaggerate. But the woman who was there before me literally had at least 8 long file drawers. So far, so good. In every long file drawer, they were packed with hanging folders. Every hanging folder was packed with folders that had folders inside of folders. They were all meticulously labeled in the smallest penciled cursive you could possibly imagine. And none of it was of any use to me whatsoever. I couldn't see it, I couldn't find it, I couldn't read it, and it all ended up going someplace. And I'm sure if she had known, it would have made her very, very sad. All of her wonderful organization was for naught. All right, this is one I think teachers will identify with. Papers. I have a paper problem. I've never taken the time to develop a good system for dealing with them, though I've read about many such systems. I've never put one into practice. So my papers are everywhere. I love it when they're organized and think this would be so much easier if I kept it up, but then I get distracted and busy and don't put paper where it should go. And then another, and pretty soon the piles are back. I think it actually takes time to sit down and work out a system for organizing things, and I never take that time. If that sounds like you, that's an A. Okay, you have to know I'm banking on this, because this is who I came to talk to, is the paper people. All right. I just had curiosity, how many of you are English or language arts teachers? Okay. I'm not saying that we have it worse or harder. I just think we have it worse and harder.
I just have less time. Can I do A for that?
Thank you. A for amen. Organization limits genius. If that's a belief you would agree with, that's an A. If not so much, that's a B. All right, all right. My little bit of humor thrown in there. You're not buying into that one. All right. How about this one? This is a former student of mine. Hang on a second. Close that out. Start it. There we go. Being unorganized helps maintain a sharp memory. The messier it is, the more impressive your skills are. Is that called justification or what? Okay, we're not buying into that one either. Bummer. I'll have to tell him it, but he got a good laugh. He'll be very pleased to know that he was good for a laugh. And then I'll have to admit my favorite. I'm a Mac. Why do I need to be organized?
Search.
Where are we at on that? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The Mac versus not Mac wars is raging there. All right. Hang on to, oh, and I love this one, but I'm not going to make you agree or disagree. I want to empathize with my husband. Just blame it all on something else there. All right. You can go ahead and hang on to the eye-clickers, so we're going to come back to them in a second here. Just to show you a few scenes from my office, and these are I'm starting with some of the better ones because we've got to get to know each other slowly here. I don't want to reveal all at once. Not so bad. Okay, if we did the eye clicker, you might be able to rate this for me. This is like the top shelf of this bookshelf. Then it goes to the second shelf. Notice what started on the second shelf. What is started? A stack. There starts the stack, okay? And then by the next shelf, okay, does this look a little bit familiar? You know, good intentions, right at eye level, everything's looking good. And what's down here is Xerox copies with binder clips that need to go somewhere at some point, and their calling in life has not quite been figured out.
Sell my bookshelf.
All right, now what you probably can't see is the number of things that have fallen behind the books. And I don't remember that I ever owned them, and I don't know that's where they are because I haven't checked recently. And as you look at the next shelf, it doesn't look promising, and that's what it looks like. You can see the good intentions where I've got, let's see, does this work? Yeah, look at that, orange. That was color coding when I started that system, and typing, and then I didn't have orange anymore, but I was able to still label the binder even though I didn't have orange paper. That was progress for me. There was a time when I couldn't label it if I didn't have the same color paper, and then, oh, what the heck, let's just write it on with a Sharpie, even though I can't read it and I've now ruined the binder. But at least it's all there somewhere. All right.